Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a really big leadership move in the real estate tech space, and it tells a much bigger story about how companies are planning for some serious explosive growth.
So we're talking about a key announcement from the seller lead platform Realty.com. And, it all really boils down to this one central challenge that, well, every successful startup hits eventually, right? How do you grow the business the right way without totally wrecking what made you great to begin with?
All right, so let's get right into it. Realty.com just made a super deliberate move. They've appointed an industry veteran, Vija Williams, to a role that's brand new for them, Chief Growth Officer.
But listen, this is way more than just filling another seat in the C-suite. Creating this role, it's a huge signal. It tells us that Realty.com thinks it's at a critical turning point. One of those moments that could define its entire future.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The company's own CEO, Lance Custon, he actually called it an inflection point. He's basically saying, look, the time for just building the machine, that's over. Now it's all about hitting the gas, but, and this is key, doing it with a really clear strategic plan. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You can really see the shift here. The company's moving out of what we'll call phase one, building all their core tech, their data systems, that exclusive model, and they're jumping headfirst into phase two. And this new phase, it's all about intentional strategic scaling. We're talking partnerships, platform expansion, training. It's a complete shift in focus. So to lead a charge like this, you can't just, promote your best salesperson or hire a general manager. No way. You need a specialist, a leader whose entire job, their whole reason for being there, is to tackle this one very specific challenge, scaling with intention. And that, right there, is where the Chief Growth Officer comes in. Think of the CGO as the quarterback for growth. Their role is to be the single point person responsible for the company's entire expansion plan, making sure marketing, sales, product, everything is moving in the same direction, under one vision. So for Vija Williams at Realty.com, she's basically the new architect of this intentional scaling plan. Her mission is crystal clear. Grow the platform, lock in those key partnerships with teams and agents, and build out the training that's going to power this whole next chapter for the company. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Why her? Why was Vija Williams the one they picked for such a make-or-break role? Well, let's just say her track record doesn't just whisper that she can do the job, it absolutely screams it. Let's just look at one number to start, 251%. Yeah, that's not a typo. That is the mind-blowing increase in sales volume she oversaw in just 3 years as president of Ben Kinney Brokerages. Think about that. When you're a company looking for someone to lead your growth, a number like that, well, it definitely gets your attention. And look, that huge success wasn't just a one-off thing, not a fluke. If you look at our career, it's just one highlight in a whole series of high-impact leadership roles at some of the biggest players in real estate. This isn't luck, it's a proven pattern of performance. Okay, so what does this all point to for the future? Well, if you listen to what Williams herself is saying about this opportunity, it tells you a ton about where she sees not just the company, but the entire industry going. She's pointing to a massive, fundamental shift happening in the market right now. She believes that seller cash offer leads, they aren't just the next little trend. No, she's saying this is the single biggest change in lead generation since online buyer leads first turned the whole industry upside down. And this is really the key takeaway from her perspective. She thinks Really.com has basically cracked a code, solved a huge industry puzzle. The platform delivers two things that almost never go together: massive, nationwide scale, and an exclusive model for its partners. That combination, being able to do both at once, that's what she sees as their secret weapon, their ultimate competitive edge. Which really brings us to the big final question that this whole move puts on the table for everyone. Realty.com is clearly betting the house on this model of at-scale exclusive seller leads. And by bringing in a proven heavy hitter like Vija Williams to lead the charge, they're not just saying this is our future. They're screaming this is the industry's future. The only question left is, are they right?